All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Shiro, the hardest pronounced pop culture podcast on the planet. I am your host, Brian, a.k.a. Wild Thing, and today I am joined by...
Jerry, a.k.a. Wild Thing.
We can all be Wild Thing today.
Okay, I guess.
Wait, let me put my glasses on.
Matthew Wild Thing? No marbles?
That's the second one. Brian Saber, Captain Cleveland Browns, Cavs, Indians. I am not the Wild Thing. I am Willie Mays Hayes.
Run like Mays, gets like Hayes. So if you haven't gotten to just by now, we are talking about the 30-year anniversary of one of our favorite sports films of all time, Major League. If you have not seen this movie, please make sure you check it out. It's got Wesley Snipes. Somewhat soberish Charlie Sheen.
He was still.
There's no way he was
I said
sober.
Corbin Burnson.
Tom Berenger.
Tom Berenger. And then one of the presidents from 24 who played Cerrano.
The Allstate guy.
And now he's the Allstate guy. Yep. So we're gonna kick it off with Sabo, the Captain Cleveland himself. No better person to start this episode off than our very own Sabo.
This is interesting because the movie came out, 89? Mm-hmm. You know, where I come from,
the land of Ohio.
I hate starting like that. Where I come from,
they love the Indians.
The Browns were good at that point, but 89 was fumble and the drive was the AFC Championship game, Playboy. And that happened in,
That's a quick check.
Yeah. So the Browns were good at that point, but the Indians hadn't been good in a long time. They had made the playoffs a couple times, but they hadn't been to the World Series since 1954. They hadn't won one since 1948. This is all off the dome, by the way.
I love it.
That's right.
Damn.
So it's because it's so ingrained. So we didn't have... The Indians were never good when I was a kid or even before that. I mean, my dad would come home from work and say, hey, you want to go to an Indians game? And the old Cleveland Municipal Stadium, well, we would go. But hold on, I'll tell you why. The old Cleveland Municipal Stadium, it had like 80,000 seats.
Oh,
so
wow.
even if you had like 20,000 people in there, it would look empty.
Right.
So you'd come home and, he'd say, you want to go to the game? We'd drive out there. You'd pay $8.
Yeah.
Right.
$8, I remember, for a ticket. And you'd basically be sitting in seats that are like $1,000 now.
Right.
You could really just run down to whatever one you wanted.
So this was like, whether it was real or not real, this was the first taste that we ever had of seeing the Indians good. I mean, my dad, when he was a kid, watched Bob Feller and then all those other great Indians teams when they won the World Series and things like that. But we had never seen it. So it was crazy. It's my favorite sports movie, closely followed by Draft Day. For obvious reasons, because that's a Browns movie. I don't know why they have so many sports movies after, Cleveland and Cleveland sports teams, probably because of our diehard fan base being the best ever. But, I love Major League. Obviously the lines, the acting, not the acting, definitely not the acting.
Spot on.
The cast, I can go through all the lines and everything, but it just the fact.
Good chemistry.
Great chemistry. Charlie Sheen is Rick Wild Thing Vaughn. He's still identified a little bit as that character today. When the Indians went to the World Series in 16. Went to Game 7 of the World Series in 16. And playing the Cubs, Sheen really played that thing up on social media, played up his old Rick Vaughn persona and talked about coming to the game and that he was like their lucky charm, and like the Indians organization distanced themselves as much as they could.
Right. Is he allowed out of his house?
Yeah.
I need the money.
But, obviously Wesley Snipes was Willie Mays Hayes. Interesting enough, he was not in Major League 2 because it was Omar Epps because Wesley Snipes was making Passenger 57. He elected to make Passenger 57 instead of Major League 2. So
always bet on black.
Yeah, always bet on black.
There's always a secret compartment down to the cargo.
I think probably my favorite. obviously when they win at the end is it's crazy because they had fans in the stadium and it was an Indians team winning. But here's the thing: they were just going to the playoffs. Like they didn't win anything,
right?
You know. But probably my favorite part of that movie is the beginning. Jake Taylor, which is the catcher, that's played by Tom Berenger. He's all drunk as shit, hungover, and he's in a shitty hotel in Mexico. He's playing in the Mexican League, and they call him and they're like, "Hey, Jake, this is so and so from the Cleveland Indians. We'd like you to come and try out for us." And he's like, "Is that you, Tolbert? I'm hungover and my knees are killing me. At least you could have said you were from the fucking Yankees." But that sort of is a microcosm of the lovable loser, city of Cleveland, the Cleveland sports team. So I love it. It's great memories of my childhood. It's one of the movies every time it's on, I go back and watch it. Major League 2 is not as good, but I still like it. But Major League it's up there, I think, for anybody in their favorite sports movie. So that's my take.
Well, you may run like Mays, but you hit like shit.
I really liked fucking Harry Doyle, a.k.a.
Bob Uecker.
Bob Uecker. God, he fucking makes this movie. He's got so many great lines in this. He really encapsulate what Saba was talking about. Like the Indians were not good at this time, and this guy knew it, and They were like, just try to hype them up as much as you possibly could, and that's what they got, and it was so hilarious. Like, he had so many good lines. It's like, Vaughn, a juvenile delinquent in the offseason, in his major league debut.
Wasn't he a national?
So he still is. So he's the Brewers, Milwaukee.
Brewers,
yes.
Okay.
He's been for like 34. I mean, he played. He was Uecker played for the Braves, who were in Milwaukee at the time, and I think he actually moved with them to Atlanta. But then when he retired, he didn't have a very long career. He went back and has been their announcer really probably, I think, since the 70s.
Guaranteed job for
Mr.
him.
Belvedere.
Yeah. I wish you would do more playoff games and shit like that.
God,
He
that'd be
used
so
to.
awesome.
Yeah.
So listen, he used to, if I remember correctly, back in the mid '90s, especially when the Indians, that Indians team in '95 went to that first World Series when they lost to the Braves. He had he was doing playoff games with Bob Costas on NBC.
Okay,
so that was awesome.
That's like watching Major League in real life.
absolutely.
That's
Yes.
pretty awesome. I didn't know that. Damn. Or at least I don't remember that. Because I actually,
I don't
even though
imagine
I'm a-
you were watching Indians games.
Well,
in
that's the thing,
in
though.
95.
Even though I'm a Yankee fan, this was the one time I cheered against the Yankees, was watching Major League. I just thoroughly enjoyed the movie. And
They were
just
the
like Jerry
villains
said, yeah,
in the movie.
They were. And I was like, fuck the Yankees. It's like, go Cerrano and Willie Mays Hayes and everybody else. So sorry, Jerry. Keep going.
No, it's just the awesome Bob Uecker quotes. I mean, you could go on forever. The one where he's like, this guy threw at his own son at a father-son game.
That's right. He was talking about,
One of the umpires threw somebody out, right?
Yeah.
Was that scene?
Yeah.
And then Haywood leads the league in most offensive categories, incling nose
hair.
When this guy
right.
sneezes, it looks like a party favor.
That was the guy. That was the guy from the White Sox.
That's the best thing that I remember is him and his fucking drinking and like his calls on the game. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think Matthew touched on it, by saying the chemistry. You could tell that those guys had a blast making the movie. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but they look like they had a great time, between Cerrano, Rick Vaughn. I can't remember Corbin Burnson's character's name. What was it?
Roger Dorn.
Yes.
Dorn.
And, just the little scenes here and there where they bring in the chicken, but it's fried chicken for Serrano because he can't hit a fucking
Sacrifice
curveball.
or whatever.
Yeah. And then, of course, when he's up to bat, and he's like, if you don't do this for me, then fuck you, Joe Boo. I do this myself.
Yeah.
That's for bats.
Yeah. And I
I'll
mean,
go sell Allstate.
It's just a solid comedy.
Dennis Haysbert. I'm sitting
Yes,
here trying to
that's his
think of his name.
Is that his name?
Dennis Haysbert.
And what was he was President Palmer, right? On 24?
I'm not a huge
24.
fan.
Yeah.
So I didn't get into 24.
Let's
till
keep
later.
it on the Cleveland Indians here.
But yeah, just a fun movie. For those of you that haven't watched it, like I said, check it out. It's this lady ends up inheriting the team, right, from her dead husband.
Yes,
she's trying
she was
to
like a
move them.
stripper or like a call girl
right?
or something.
Definitely.
And she basically, so she realizes that Cleveland sucks. She's not from Cleveland. Cleveland sucks, and the weather's bad, and it's cold, and blah 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 blah. So she actually wants to move the team to Miami. Right, and so her plan is to get all the shittiest players and get some guy that manages the Toledo Mudheads, which is actually a minor league team, to come out there and lose enough so their attendance will be low enough so they can
Have the option to
move the team to Miami. So. And they elect to
keep winning,
win the whole fucking thing.
division.
Yes.
Yeah, they just go to the playoffs.
They didn't win the whole thing. They just won their division.
The cousin from National Lampoon was in the stands.
Cousin Eddie?
Yes.
So he's in the
Cousin Eddie.
second one. He's not in the
He's
first
not in the first one?
No.
I thought
He's
he
in
was
the
in
no.
first one.
He's in the second one.
Oh, he's one of the fans.
Because he's all like, because he's pissed off because that's after Rick Vaughn kind of cleans up and starts wearing the suits and starts throwing breaking pitches and naming his pitches and stuff, and he's in the stands. He's cousin Eddie. Yeah, that's Randy Quaid.
Yeah,
Randy Quaid.
That's it.
He's all fucked up now. He believes in aliens. He's kind of like his character from Independence Day.
He really is.
Yes.
Yeah, he's that person in real life.
Vaughn, a juvenile delinquent in the offseason in his major league debut.
Sorry, Randy.
Well, yeah, just a fun movie. Make sure you check it out. Matthew, anything on your memories of the first time you watched Major League? Or
The first time I watched Major League, no, I was
Nothing.
I can
I
understand.
was a child.
Hey, man, love story.
No, but
redemption.
I mean, it's baseball, and I just loved baseball as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And it's grown into me loving baseball as an adult. So every baseball movie at the time, I made sure I watched. This one I wasn't really allowed to watch because it was a little crass.
Yeah.
right.
It's not exactly
That was the
Field
allure.
of Fucking
it's,
Dreams.
it's not the Sandlot or
Not the
Rookie of the
Natural.
Year.
Right.
This is
One thing that stood out
Convict
to me,
of the year.
it stands out now, is Tom Berenger's crib, the place that he had.
Yeah.
It was totally 80s,
Yeah.
but it was totally awesome. I would still want to live there. I don't know where it is.
I love the part when his wife told him that she fucked Ricky Vaughn.
Yes.
It was great.
That's Roger Dorn's wife.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Sorry.
good.
She
That
was
was
hot.
great.
Really hot.
Well, she was hot when she was all done up at the bar.
Yes.
When she was all fucking in cougar
She
mode
was
trying to
looking for
fuck
it.
Rick Vaughn. You see her earlier in the movie. Jake Taylor, Tom Berenger character, goes to Roger Dorn's house because in the game he didn't go for a ball, and he
Right.
says, if you ever fucking
That's an
do that
awesome-
again, I'm gonna take
awesome
this
scene.
ball and stick it down your fucking throat. And she's like, tea
got the
anyone?
lemonade.
Yeah, the
And-
lemonade,
And
yeah.
she don't look like Mama in cougar mode that she does later in the movie in that part. So.
But yeah, 30-year anniversary of Major League. Like I said, check it out. It's a good flick, good baseball flick, nice comedy. It's definitely a little raunchy, so you don't want to have the little kids around, kind of like our podcast. So that's about it. We're going to let Haley take us out, and thank you for joining us.
I'd like to take the time to thank one of our sponsors, Andrew Newman, attorney at law. Located here in Greensboro, North Carolina, he can assist you with your criminal as well as traffic violations, and his practice includes Guilford, Forsyth, as well as all surrounding counties. To set up a free consultation, you can contact him at 336-663-2388, and you can also visit him on his website, attorneynewman.com.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Pop Culture as Fuck, presented by Multi-Poptural. Be sure to check us out at our website for all the latest news and notes. You can find us at www.popcultureaf.com or multipoptural.com. And we'll see you next week, you filthy animals.
Yes! Yeah! Victory!
And anger management?
Fuck anger management.